The 2023 campaign is finally upon us, which means it's time for us to get started with our first edition of this season's Power Rankings. Number 32, Arizona Cardinals. Last time's ranking, 32. Do not be surprised if Arizona stays in the number 32 spot all season long. Yeah, it's just gonna be that ugly. Kyler Murray is still out for who knows how long, and they're asking Josh Dobbs and or Clayton Tune to hold down the fort at QB. Woof. Number 31, Indianapolis Colts. Last time's ranking, 30. Anthony Richardson had some highlight reel moments in preseason, but he'll have his work cut out for him in an actual meaningful game. The Colts won't have disgruntled star running back Jonathan Taylor to start the season, leaving Michael Pittman Jr. as Richardson's only playmaker there. A long season is ahead in Indy. Number 30, Houston Texans. Last time's ranking, 31. CJ Stroud had uneven performances in the preseason. Now it's time to see what he can do against actual starters. Doesn't get easy with a road contest against Lamar Jackson's Baltimore Ravens to begin his career. Stroud's receivers should be easily overmatched by Baltimore's star-studded secondary. Number 29, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time's ranking, 29. That 3-year run with Tom Brady was nothing short of success, but the dog days are returning to Tampa. With all due respect to Baker Mayfield, he is not Tom Brady. Number 28, Las Vegas Raiders. Last time's ranking, 27. Josh Jacobs ended his sabbatical and agreed to play under a 1-year deal. So hey, there's something to keep Raiders fans happy. Jacobs and Devontae Adams will probably be enough to keep Vegas out of tanking territory, but it's very hard to be optimistic about a team that swapped out Derek Carr for Jimmy Garoppolo. Number 27, Chicago Bears. Last time's ranking, 28. Justin Fields and DJ Moore sure made the preseason look easy. The Bears were football's worst team last year, but we wouldn't be stunned if they made sudden improvement reminiscent of the 2018 club. Number 26, Washington Commanders. Last time's ranking, 25. If the Commanders really do have something in Sam Howell, then they should make some noise in the NFC. It's too bad they play in a loaded division that features 3 of last year's Final Four NFC finalists. The Commanders could be a pesky team and surprise playoff contender. As always though, it comes down to the QB production. Number 25, Carolina Panthers. Last time's ranking, 26. Bryce Young's final preseason outing was sure noticeable. The kid looks confident, locked in, and ready to roll. Carolina has 2 manageable games to open the season with Atlanta in Week 1 and New Orleans in Week 2. Then it starts to get tough. But it might be good for Young to face early adversity though. Number 24, Atlanta Falcons. Last time's ranking, 23. The Falcons should be a fun, chaotic team this year. They'll rack up points with Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Tyler Algier, and Cordarrelle Patterson, but they'll also give up a lot of points with that leaky defense. Number 23, Los Angeles Rams. Last time's ranking, 22. It could go either way here. The Rams straight up sucked like they did last year with an aging core, or they returned to form with Sean McVay and the core 3 of Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Aaron Donald leading the way. The Rams will really need their young guys to step up if the club is to bounce back in 2023. Number 22, Denver Broncos. Last time's ranking, 21. There are reasons to be cautiously optimistic about this year's Broncos. For one, they are due for some better luck in one-score games, having lost a whopping 9 games by a single possession last year. Secondly, that top 10 level defense will always give them a chance. And finally, Sean Payton's arrival means Russell Wilson has nowhere to go but up. Number 21, Green Bay Packers. Last time's ranking, 24. We're not trying to overreact to preseason performances, but Jordan Love sure looked like a seasoned veteran behind center. If he can play close to a game manager level, then the Packers could exceed expectations in 2023. Number 20, Tennessee Titans. Last time's ranking, 20. The Titans might hang around the playoff race thanks to a soft schedule plus 4 should-be wins against Houston and Indianapolis. Ultimately, their hopes of returning to the postseason come down to the health and performances of Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, and newcomer DeAndre Hopkins. We're skeptical that they'll outlast other AFC teams with superior QBs for a playoff berth, but then again, the soft schedule does work to their advantage. Number 19, New England Patriots. Last time's ranking, 19. Faith in Mac Jones restored? Bill Belichick cut Bailey Zappi and Malik Cunningham on roster before bringing them both back on the practice squad. The Pats will have a prolific ground game and suffocating defense again, but will Jones in the passing game be able to keep up with the AFC's many aerial assaults? That's going to be the main question over New England this year. Number 18, Cleveland Browns. Last time's ranking, 18. The Browns have star power and depth on both sides of the ball. but they also look like the 4th best team in an unforgiving AFC North division, hence why they rank outside the top half here. If Deshaun Watson regains his Houston Texans-like form, the Browns could make the jump to AFC heavyweight. That's a pretty big if, though. Number 17, New Orleans Saints. Last time's ranking, 17. The Saints have football's second easiest schedule and play in football's toughest division. Derek Carr is also the only proven and established QB in the NFC South, which further bodes well for New Orleans. Number 16, Minnesota Vikings. Last time's ranking, 15. We've spent all offseason ripping the Vikings defense, which could be even worse than the unit that ranked 28th in scoring a year ago. Fortunately, the Vikings still have Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins to headline a potent offense. And with Aaron Rodgers out of the NFC North, the Vikes' chances of repeating as division champs are that much better. Number 15, Detroit Lions. Last time's ranking, 16. Is this the year that the Lions finally break through? They won 9 games a year ago and only missed out on the postseason due to a tiebreaker. Lions fans have been accustomed to losing for a while, but anything less than a playoff berth this year has to be considered a disappointment. Number 14, New York Giants. Last time's ranking, 12. A lot of people are sleeping on a Giants team that reached the divisional round a year ago. With an improved offense and a borderline top 10 D, Brian Daboll and the G-Men should have little problem proving that 2022 was no fluke. Number 13, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time's ranking, 13. Kenny Pickett and George Pickens went off in the preseason together. Now let's see them carry it over to the real games. The Steelers to us are a sleeper Super Bowl contender. Pickett can only improve after a sluggish rookie year, and the defense will push for top 5 status if TJ Watt stays healthy. Number 12, Los Angeles Chargers. Last time's ranking, 11. How will the Bolts respond from their unspeakable collapse against Jacksonville in the wildcard round? That remains to be seen, but with an elite secondary and one of the game's most dangerous passing games led by Justin Herbert, you know the Bolts will be in contention again this year. Number 11, New York Jets. Last time's ranking, 14. The hype in the Meadowlands hasn't been this high in quite some time. 4-time league MVP and future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers takes over a Jets offense that isn't devoid of talent. Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall, and McCole Hardman, just to name a few of the guys. Not to mention, the Jets had a top 5 defense last year. At the very least, the Jets are a 10-win team and a wildcard club. Number 10, Miami Dolphins. Last time's ranking, 10. As we've said before, Miami's Super Bowl chances come down to Tua Tagovailoa staying healthy. You just know a Tua Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle-led offense will be virtually unstoppable again. And a Vic Fangio-coached defense with Christian Wilkins, Xavier Howard, Jalen Phillips, and Javon Holland has limitless potential. Number 9, Jacksonville Jaguars. Last time's ranking, 9. In a year with zero expectations, the Jaguars won the AFC South, pulled off a historic comeback against the Chargers, and got close-ish to upsetting the Chiefs in the divisional round. So, what do the Jaguars do for an encore? Well, Trevor Lawrence is established as an elite QB now, and the arrival of Calvin Ridley gives this loaded offense even more unfair firepower. Throw in an underrated D that allowed the 12th fewest points last year, and this certainly feels like the best Jacksonville squad in more than 2 decades. Number 8, Seattle Seahawks. Last time's ranking, 7. All the NFC hype is on Philly and San Fran, but don't sleep on a 9-win team that added Jackson Smith-Njigba, Devin Witherspoon, Bobby Wagner, and Draymond Jones. If Witherspoon comes as advertised, the second coming of the Legion of Boom may finally arrive. Number 7, Baltimore Ravens. Last time's ranking, 8. It might be less flashy to some, but the Ravens are doing the right thing in transitioning to a more pass-happy offense for Lamar Jackson. Talk about the ground game all you want, but a passing game with Mark Andrews, Odell Beckham Jr., Nelson Aguilar, Rashad Bateman, and Zay Flowers could really do damage this year. Number 6, Dallas Cowboys. Last time's ranking, 6. Love 'em or hate 'em, the Cowboys are coming off back-to-back 12-win seasons and look even better on paper this year. They added a much-needed number 2 receiver in Brandon Cooks and another Pro Bowl cornerback in Stephon Gilmore, as if having a top 10 scoring offense and defense wasn't scary enough. But as always, it's Super Bowl or bust. Number 5, Buffalo Bills. Last time's ranking, 5. Like the Cowboys, the Bills season won't be considered a success unless they at least reach the Super Bowl. Another pre-conference championship game exit could lead to some notable changes in Orchard Park. Number 4, Cincinnati Bengals. Last time's ranking, 3. the Bengals were oh so close to a second straight Super Bowl appearance. So they too are officially in championship or bust territory now. Is this the year the Bengals can finally break through with the franchise's first title? Well, stay tuned. Number 3. San Francisco 49ers. Last time's ranking, 4. If, and big if here, Brock Purdy can stay healthy, then you can argue that the 49ers are the team to beat. Purdy has the NFL's best set of offensive weapons around him. Hey, cheers to a full season with Christian McCaffrey. Oh, and the 49ers only have football's #1 defense to lead the charge. Number 2, Philadelphia Eagles. Last time's ranking, 2. If not for a cheap holding call, the Eagles might be the ones getting ready for the NFL's kickoff game on September 7th. But hey, they still have football's best and deepest all-around roster with no glaring flaws. We have no reason to believe 2022 was simply a fluke year for Jalen Hurts. Number 1, Kansas City Chiefs. Last time's ranking, 1. To be the team, you gotta beat the team, and the defending champs will stay at this spot unless someone else beats them. But what changes would you make to our pre-Week 1 power rankings? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.